The Turnpike Sports Pro Football Pick segment is brought to you by Betfred Sportsbook. Never miss a bet with Betfred Sportsbook. Betfred Sports brings over 50 years of experience through the United States betting industry. Straight bets, in-play wagering, parlay cards, teasers, and more. Head on over to BetfredSports.com or download the Betfred Sportsbook app in Colorado, Iowa, or Arizona and get in on all the action today. New signups will receive up to $250 in free bets when wagering $50. Download the Betfred Sportsbook app today. Offer valid in Colorado, Iowa, and Arizona only. Visit BetfredSports.com for terms and conditions. Please gamble responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa, 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona, and 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado.
And welcome to Week 16 of the NFL regular season. This is the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Picks powered by Betfred Sports. It's actually Christmas weekend that we're doing this weekend for. Yes. We've got a full weekend. We've got Thursday night. We've got Saturday. We've got a whole slate of games on Saturday with a couple games on Christmas Day.
Sunday's going to be fun. Well, first off, it's Christmas. It's always fun. Yeah. Number two, you got NFL and NBA, so it should be a lot of fun.
What is that, a quintuple header for the NBA?
I think it's starts at noon or 12:30 on the East Coast.
It goes all the way through. All the way through nighttime.
Sixers and Knicks.
Yep.
You got to love it.
It's going to be an interesting game. Both teams are not playing as well as people expected. But that's a different type of analysis for another type of show there. But here we are, NFL Week 16. Again, we're in the extended, weekends of the NFL season. Yeah. We've got the Saturday games, we've got Sunday games, we've got Monday, we got Thursday night.
I got to tell you, what a fun week last week was.
What a historic
football.
Week.
Oh my God, we were both on the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes. I think everybody was.
It was an exciting game. No, we bet on them. It was an exciting game. They won.
Yes.
And in a most improbable way, and but they didn't cover. But it was still fun to watch. That was my only loss last week. So
the people that made
kind of annoyed me, but it was a fun game to watch. And then I have no clue what the New England Patriots were doing. I just what a terribly coached team. It's shocking for me to say that about any Bill Belichick team, but my goodness, how stupid. I mean, what's his name? Scott Zolak, who used to be a backup quarterback for the Patriots
and the Jets.
About 20 years ago. He's the radio color analyst for the New England Patriots, and I think he ended by saying that was the most stupid team he's ever seen play. So very interesting. It's not a pleasant situation up there in the Boston media right now. I can't believe some are actually calling for Bill Belichick to be fired, which I'm shocked about. I think it's a gross overreaction, but what a terrible decision to put Matt Patricia and Joe Judge as part of his coaching staff. It's just absolutely incredible.
Well, when you start hearing people talk about we need Bill O'Brien as head coach,
right.
That's when you know you're having a really bad season. Yeah. But none of that made sense to me because they weren't behind. They were tied. It was going to go to overtime.
That's what made
there was
it
no
so
time
crazy.
on the clock.
That's what made it so stupid. I mean, they were not.
Yeah.
They were not losing the game at that point. They were tied. I don't know why they did what they did. You got to wonder who said what. I know some of the Jacoby Myers is taking the heat for it. He said that was his fault, and they're saying the coaches had nothing to do about it.
And he's a former quarterback, too.
Let me tell
he should know better than to throw across the field like that.
If they're a well-coached team, they don't do stuff like that. That's all I'm saying.
The first lateral should not have happened.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
But it's one of those things. One interesting aspect of that is Josh McDaniels is now 2-0 against Bill Belichick.
Yeah, shocking.
So keep that in your back pocket next time you see a matchup between these two.
Yeah.
Here we are, like I said, Week 16. We're going to be doing our pro football picks. We've each got 3 picks for the weekend here. We do spreads and totals only, no money line bets, and we use the Tuesday lines from Betfred Sports.
Yeah.
All right, let's get right into it. We've got a long weekend here, and we've got a couple games to hit, so we'll just go right into game number 1.
Yep.
First game going for the Detroit Lions at the Carolina Panthers. Detroit's favored by 2.5 in this game. There's an over-under of 44.5. I don't know what else you can say about Detroit. They're 6-1 in their last 7 games overall. They're 7-1 against the spread in their last 7 games. They're 3-0 against the spread in their last 3 road games. They're 4-2 against the spread as an away team. When I was actually doing research on this, I had to really take a look at this because I noticed in the away games, I wanted to look to see how many what their record was as an away favorite. They've never been favored as an away team.
Really?
They've never been favored as an away team this season. Then you go to Carolina, who, by the way, after they got rid of Matt Rule and also Baker Mayfield, they're not a bad team. They're actually, I think their record is 4-4 with the interim coach that's there. But they are 4-10 against the spread in their last 14 home games. They're 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 in December. When they play Detroit, for some reason, they play each other very, very tight. The home team is 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 meetings between these two. I really, really like where Carolina's going, but I like where Detroit's going even better. Goff is playing lights out as a quarterback there. It's finally nice to see him playing like the number 1 pick he was way back when. I think maybe Detroit is the one team here that's headed in the right direction. That direction might actually be the playoffs. So I'm going with the Lions and laying the 2.5.
For all those reasons, I'm going with Detroit too. I mean, how can you not be a fan of Detroit? I mean,
right now, no.
Look, Goff is playing lights out. I think he has like about 200 pass attempts without an interception. By the way, that was the kiss of death. The first pass attempt he's going to throw an interception.
Probably.
But look, we've said a lot about their offense, but their defense is coming around. Their defense is playing well, so which is helping the offense out immensely. So for all the reasons you said, I'm not going to go through the stats again and things like that, but I love Detroit here. I love what they're doing. I think they're playing with incredible motivation and incredible confidence, and I like where they're going, so I'm taking Detroit.
All right, let's head on over to the second game of the week. Game number 2 for me is one of those wintry outdoor games. We're talking the New Orleans Saints going to Cleveland to play the Browns. Cleveland's favored by 3 at home here. Over-under is 32. By the way, that total is one of the lowest ones on the Betfred board right now as we're taping this. This has all the makings of one of those snow-affected, low weather-impacted game, low scoring. Extended forecast, snow showers, 0-degree wind chills, freezing temperatures, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Then you add in 2 teams with bad offenses and a dome team on top of that with New Orleans.
Yeah. Well, the wind is the big factor at that game.
Well, so, I think the struggling offenses. Well, I think even if this was in good weather, you wouldn't see a high-scoring game.
Well, we throw in really heavy winds in there, and then this is just run left, run right, and stuff like that. So.
Well, the under is 6-1 in the Saints' last 7 games overall, 4-0. The under is 4-0 in the Browns' last 4 overall. New Orleans is under. The under is 3-1 as an away dog, which they are here, and 3-1 in non-conference games for New Orleans, which this is as well. Cleveland, the under is 2-1 in non-conference games for the Browns too, and both these offenses, you're actually starting to see Deshaun Watson starting to play better. He's getting his legs under him. He's starting to throw better. He's starting to get his timings back, but these 2 teams have never played each other in this type of weather before. Their last 4 meetings have all occurred in September and October. Half of the time was over in the Dome in New Orleans. So I'm really thinking you're going to see a weather-impacted, bad offense, good defense type game. The wind's going to have a lot to say about the punting, the field goal kicking, all that. I'm doing the under 32 here.
Well, look, I cashed a ticket doing the under in New Orleans, Atlanta game last week, so I know all about New Orleans and the under, but my game is we're powered by Betfred in this segment, so I'm going with a team that is partnered with Betfred, the Cincinnati Bengals, and they are traveling to the New England Patriots. The Bengals are 3.5-point favorites, and the total is 39.5. I love the way the Bengals are playing, and on the flip side, New England Patriots are just imploding. I don't know what they're doing. They have a terrible offense. I've said it week in and week weeks now. I mean, Matt Jones is not the person that and this might not be his fault, because if you have Matt Patricia, a defensive coach, calling plays for you, you might regress, and I think that what we're seeing. But like I said, I love the way the Bengals have been playing. They are 3-0-1 against the spread in their last 4 Saturday games, and they're 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games in December. They play well when it counts, and it really counts, and I think the Bengals should easily win this. I'm actually shocked that what's the spread? 3.5 points. Yeah. Bengals,
it should be
really?
A little more than that.
Oh my God! I think Bengals are gonna run it up. The Bengals are going to jump out in the lead by the end of the first quarter or the beginning of the second quarter and never look back, because look, the Patriots do not have an offense that could hang with a team like the Bengals. So I'm taking the Bengals and laying the 3.5 points.
And I'm sure Bill Belichick has a sign in the locker room: do not lateral the ball.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's head on.
Yeah, we will not see a lateral in that game.
Yeah, no.
I guarantee it. Not from New England, anyway.
No. All right, let's head on over to the last game of the week. Last game for me, Washington Commanders at the San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers are favored by 7 here. There's an over-under of 39.5. Kind of an interesting total to actually look at, because the Niners have one of those types of defenses that shuts people out in the second half. They've been doing it for a while. The Commanders are coming into the game at 6-2-1 against the spread in their last 8 games overall. But really, this is all going to be about San Francisco. We've got Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant.
There you go, Mr. Purdy.
Leading them to a 2-0 record with him under center. They're 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 overall, 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 home games. For the entire season, they're 5-2 against the spread at home for the entire season. So they're actually playing very well at home, which is where they're at here. You add into the mix, they've won 6 of their last 7 games by at least 8 points or more. Against some pretty good defenses. Niners are 9-2 against the spread in their last 11 Saturday games, which this is. 9-2 against the spread in their last 11 home games. Mm-hmm. With that defense they got going, with shutting people out in the second half, you got to think that maybe Washington's streak of actually playing well against the spread is going to stop here. And I'm going with San Francisco and laying the 7.
All right, my last game is the New York Giants traveling to the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 3-point favorites, and the total is 47.5. Look, like I said before, we both had bets on the Minnesota Vikings. Absolutely thrilling game against the Indianapolis Colts.
Not for Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most interesting things I heard was a lot of these analysts were saying, you know what, why didn't the Colts just take the play clock all the way or the snap clock all the way down to like 1 second for each snap of the ball? They would have won it. But I guess they didn't, and I guess they didn't play well. But give credit to the Minnesota Vikings, because that was an absolutely thrilling game. A lot of fun watching it. It would have been more fun if the Minnesota Vikings covered, but it was such a great game to watch. And I love the way the Minnesota Vikings have been playing. They have won 7 of their last 8 games. They are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games against the team with a winning record. And look, I'm not taking anything away from the New York Giants. They are playing great as of late. And Saquon Barkley has been playing lights out. I think he's been carrying the New York Giants these last couple of weeks. But look, I think I just love the way the Vikings are playing. I don't like the way the Vikings were playing in the first half of last week, but I like the way they, put themselves together and came out and actually won last week. But I just think the Minnesota Vikings are much more talented than the New York Giants, and since the Vikings are playing home, I'm giving them the edge, and I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings in this one.
All right, let's recap our picks for the week. Why don't you go ahead and do your recap?
I am taking the Detroit Lions, who are 2.5-point favorites over the Panthers. I am taking the Bengals, who are 3.5-point favorites over the lowly New England Patriots. And also, I'm taking the incredible, talented team. I'm joking now, but they're doing very well. The Minnesota Vikings, who it seems like not a lot of people like them, but I like them. Minnesota Vikings, who are 3-point favorites over the New York Giants.
I'm doing the Detroit Lions as well, laying the 2.5 against the Panthers. I'm doing the under 32 in the Saints-Browns games. And I'm doing San Francisco laying the 7 against the Washington Commanders. All these picks will be up on the Turnpike blog. Head on over to turnpikesports.us. Click on the blog button. You'll see them in written form there. Feel free to comment on the blog. Feel free to email us. info@turnpikesportsradio.com is our email address. Twitter, we got 2 handles, Turnpike Sports, Turnpike Bets. On Facebook, it's Turnpike Sports. On Instagram, it's Turnpike Sports Radio. And please, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and enjoy all the football.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.